Hey, welcome to Between the Studs. We're the Granite Ridge Gang, including our president, Tony Reinke, and we're glad you've joined us today. Between the Studs is all about new home construction, processes, features, trends that characterize today's new home. And we're glad you've joined us. Today is going to be a fun show. I think it's going to be a fun show on this beautiful spring day. What are we doing, Tony?
Spring is here, and even though it doesn't feel like it today, everybody gets ready for summer somehow. So here's what I thought we'd do. We got the Granite Ridge Gang. Everybody's got an idea of what they do to get ready for summer and what's your spring cleaning idea. So let's go around, talk about what's your favorite idea to get ready for summer.
Well, a good tip is to walk around the perimeter of your home. After all of the snow and the cold weather, you want to double check your siding, your shingles, make sure you don't have any blow-offs there, and also inspect your dryer vent from all of the lint over the winter months.
Good idea.
Okay.
I usually try to make sure all my gutters are clean. With all the April showers headed our way, we're going to want to make sure the water's flowing correctly, and even make sure you've got your guard splashes on correctly.
I have to say one of my things is cleaning windows. I have to work a lot harder to clean the windows at the lake home when the home was built in 1985 than I do in my new house built by Granite Ridge with the Anderson windows. They have a titanium dioxide coating on them that helps, and I don't have to clean near as hard.
This is the time of year I think you ought to walk around your grass a little bit and take a look at what we call snow mold. It's a little bit of mold that's out there in the grass. It could spoil the soil underneath, it could kill the grass, but get a rake, fluff it up, get this breeze on there, air it out a little bit, see if we can nip that snow mold in the bud so the lawn looks better in the spring.
One of the things I'm really looking forward to once I get over this spring cold is to work with my blower around the house. One of the biggest things I think you can use it for is to get leaves out of around the bushes, also to check your window wells for your basement to make sure there's no extra leaves that have gotten in there, or probably some dead mice or even a dead gopher or two.
And I pretty much look forward to grabbing my cell phone and calling a guy and just hiring it all done and not worrying about it.
Okay, here, let's everybody break off, do a couple segments. We've got some fun segments today, talk a little bit about water, everything else. But before I do that, somebody keeps turning my downspouts and my splash blocks around. I got to figure out who's doing it the wrong way.
Izzy, go and get them things turned back around.
And get it right this time, will you?
Come on, Izzy.
We're down here in the mechanics room of the Next Step House, and Luke and I are going to be talking about hot water heaters.
Whoa, Tony, why would you need to heat up the water that's already hot?
Luke and I are going to be talking about water heaters today.
There you go.
Yeah. Luke, there's a couple different kinds of water heaters. Start talking about one of them for me.
Yeah, well, first let's start with the electric water heater. I think that's one of the more common ones. Electric water heater, inside the water tank, if you can visualize here, there's a couple rods inside. Those rods heat up,
okay,
which then heats the water up, providing you your hot water throughout your house. Now, electric water heaters, they're more efficient. They're about 90% plus efficient.
Okay.
A couple of the drawbacks with electric is the fact that if you got a couple showers going, running dishwasher, and you're exhausting this tank, the recovery rate takes several hours to get the hot water. So you have the potential, if you have a large family or you're running lots of stuff at the same time, of running out of hot water for several hours.
Okay, that doesn't seem very practical to me. So what other options do people have available?
Yeah, well, people might choose electric because they don't have gas available to their lot or where they're building at. So, but speaking of gas is one of the other options when it comes to water heaters. Now, the way that a gas water heater works is down at the bottom, there's a burner down there. So that fires up the flames, heats up the water. Now, those are not near as efficient as the electric. Those are going to be around 60%, 70% efficient.
But with gas being a lot less expensive than electricity these days, it actually would be more efficient or similar efficiency?
Not efficiency, but from a yearly cost standpoint.
Yearly cost standpoint,
yeah, yearly cost standpoint, the gas is going to run you less than the electric because of those standard electric rates.
Now, at Granite Ridge Builders, we do start off with a 40-gallon gas water heater as our standard.
Right.
But we also do a power vent on ours.
Right, so like you mentioned it, that's our standard, our 40-gallon gas. One of the reasons we do the gas is because I mentioned the recovery rate with the electric takes several hours. For a gas, if you were to exhaust that whole 40 gallons, it would take an hour for that 40 gallons. So maybe a third to a fourth of the time that it takes that electric. So that's one of the benefits with gas. Plus it costs you less over the year because of the electric rates. gas rates. But then you mentioned we put a gas-powered vent on the top of ours.
Correct.
Now that power vent adds some benefits to the water heater itself.
Okay.
It'll be more efficient. It'll save you some money in the long run, and we have to vent out the fumes. That's what that fan's there for. Electric doesn't have the fumes, the gas does.
Okay.
So we got to get those fumes out of the house. If you were just run a standard pipe and let the fumes just, float up, we have to run it the most direct route. So sometimes it's not the most convenient spot to run it. Maybe it has to run through the middle of a closet space that's valuable to the homeowner. With that power vent, we actually can run it and put elbows in it and run it in an inconspicuous area, so that way the homeowners never even know it's there, and we get those fumes out.
So by using the power vent, number one, I'm going to save money over a year's time span.
Yep.
Number two is going to get rid of those fumes.
Yep.
And this is all done as a standard with Granite Ridge Builders.
Correct. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Now, I know another thing that we can do with Granite Ridge Builders when it comes to efficiencies and things is there's a lot of people who we build for who may have a place in Florida, or maybe they're building a lake place.
Yep.
Is there anything that we can do for them so that their water heater's a little more energy efficient?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a tankless water heater. So this big tank here, it shrinks to a box, this big, depending on the size of the one you need for your house. So benefits of that. At any given time, this is keeping this water hot. So even if you go down up to the lake for an entire week at this house, this is going to continue to heat this water up when you're not using it. Now, a tankless water heater provides you with limitless hot water, and it only heats up the water when it's being called for.
So you're talking about limitless. Now, I was talking about, people who had lake cottages or are away for long periods of time to save on their, utility bills. If I have limitless hot water, and we work with some people who have 6 children that are all approaching teenage years.
Right.
I mean, I could see them going through 40 gallons of water like that.
Right.
You're saying they're not going to ever have a problem with hot water?
Well, now there's different sizes of those tankless water heaters that you can get. Now, if you have a family of 6, you need to really look at how much water you're going to be using. So it'll give you limitless, but if you are taking 3 showers and you're running the washer and the dishwasher, what it will do, it'll make sure that temperature stays the same, but it will reduce the flow of it. So you may notice a slight pressure drop off because it wants to make sure that when it reaches there, it's up to the temperature that you got it set to. So you need to really weigh your options when you get into families of 6. But like you mentioned, lake places, you're not taking a whole lot of showers up at the lake.
Right.
I mean, when you have guests up and stuff, they're there for the day. Another potential spot where we've been selling a lot of tankless water heaters are villa buyers, because they like to travel. Maybe there's just 2 of them living in the house. So again, you're not using that 40 gallons all the time. They just need it when they're taking that shower or running that dishwasher. So it saves money in the long run because you're not heating the water when you're not using it.
And this goes back to another big edge of Granite Ridge Builders, because we sit and we talk to our families. And in a way, we almost interview them to see how they live their life.
Right.
And how they should potentially build their house.
Right.
So that the house actually fits their lifestyle.
Exactly. We look at that and then give them recommendations based on what they're telling us. So we're making sure that we're not sticking something in their house that's not going to work for them in the long run.
Very good. Now, you were talking just a second ago about, the family with the 5 kids or 6 people in their household, and the showers and maybe the dishwasher going, and also washing clothes at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, there is something that we can do so that they don't have that drop in pressure, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So for about $1,500, you can install a constant pressure pump on even your city water. City water comes in at about 55 PSI. This has a variable speed pump in it that'll actually pull from the city side, and it'll actually ramp it up to 70 PSI. And you could turn on every faucet in the house and you're still gonna get 70 PSI coming through. So it actually will draw more water out of your city line to ramp that up. You'll never notice a drop off. So you could be watering the lawn, doing the dishes, and somebody taking a shower, you won't notice that drop off.
So if I had a larger family, and let's say that I have 2 showers going, and I have the dishwasher going, and I have the washing machine going, and I'm watering the yard, you're telling me that there are ways that I won't lose pressure.
Yep.
And I won't run out of hot water?
Correct. Yep, there are ways.
Granite Ridge Builders has hundreds of floor plans to choose from, all of which you can custom design to accommodate your personal needs. But what if you have your own plan or ideas? That's okay. Our 3 professional on-site draftsmen are ready to take your ideas and turn them into a reality. Just give us a call or shoot us an email. We look forward to meeting with you to custom design your next dream home.
Now I know this is on a well system here. We're bringing well water into the house. What happens to that next?
Yeah, well, one of the first things that we did was actually installed a softener here at this house.
Okay.
So a softener, now it takes the hard water that we got coming in from the well, and like its name, it softens it.
Okay. What is the definition of soft water and hard water?
Okay, so anything above 5 is considered hard water.
Okay.
Once you get above 10, it's extremely hard water.
So Fort Wayne has pretty good, decent water. How soft is Fort Wayne water?
Yeah, Fort Wayne's not too bad. Like downtown Fort Wayne, you're going to average about 5 to 7 grains per gallon. North side of town, you're going to be more in that 10 to 13. Aboit, 9 to 13. So
and this one's on a well. What's well water typically?
yeah, well is when it gets really bad. So wells around this area, you're going to be in the 20 to 40 range.
Ooh, that's rock hard.
Yeah, that's rock hard. And then you get in some other things where, like in the Leo area, you might experience some more iron. Woodburn might experience some more sulfur. So now, the softener itself doesn't actually purify the water.
What's this thing actually doing then?
So like I mentioned before, it's making it soft. So it's taking the magnesium and the calcium out of the water.
So that's why when I shower up on softened water, I get such good lathering.
Yeah, exactly. So this here is our resin tank.
Okay.
So this is 1/2 of what we consider the softener.
Okay.
So in here there's little plastic beads. Those beads are what attract those magnesium and that calcium in that water. So the water passes through here, those act like magnets and grab that magnesium and calcium.
Great. Now we're full of minerals in here. What happens next to get rid of these minerals?
Right. Well, for those of you that have seen a softener before, you might notice we got something missing here.
Yeah, the big old salt tank here.
Yeah, the brine tank. Yeah, that's the technical name. So that's where you actually pour the salt tablets into the brine tank.
Okay.
Well, here at the Next Step house, right above my shoulder, is the garage.
Okay.
So we were able to put that brine tank in the garage.
Sweet. How far away can that be from this?
20 foot is about the maximum.
Very good. Well, we're a lot less than that
Yeah,
here.
right. So one of the major benefits of putting it in the garage is you don't have to carry those 40-pound bags of salt down to your basement every few months to replenish the brine tank. You can back your truck right up to it and empty the truck right into the brine tank.
Boy, I need to tell my buddy about that. He kicked a bag down the stairs. By the time it hit the bottom, it broke open. He had salt all over the place.
Yeah, not the brightest idea.
No. So what's one of these things kind of cost? And is there a big range of sizes and costs? And
Yeah, depending on the size of the house and how many bathrooms and what you got going on, you can actually get different sizes and different levels of water softener. So you can expect to spend anywhere between $800 and $1,500 for a water softener.
Very good. Now these probably don't last forever. So every 15, 18, 20 years?
Yeah,
maybe,
maybe,
upon...
20 plus years is probably what you're looking at, depending on again how much usage you have, how hard your water is. But yeah, you keep that salt up to the levels, it'll last you a good long time.
Now I've tasted softened water before, and to me it always had a little bit of a salty aftertaste to it.
Yeah. That's been a big debate. Do these actually put sodium in your water? And the answer is yes, it will put a little bit.
Okay.
So that could be a potential issue for somebody who's maybe older or has to monitor their sodium intake. Also, indoor plants, they don't like that.
No,
So
right. Or your pet even wouldn't want that.
yeah, yep.
I'm really picky about my coffee and my drinking water. I don't want well water, and I don't want salty water. What's my next option after that?
Yeah, another thing we did here, so this actually doesn't purify the water. This just changes the hardness of the water.
Okay.
So another thing we did here was an RO system, which is right here on the wall.
What's RO stand for?
RO stands for reverse osmosis.
Very good.
So let's go check it out. Okay, Joe, we're back at the reverse osmosis here.
Very good. It just looks like a bunch of cans hanging on a wall to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that you wanted, you're picky with your coffee, the water you put in your coffee. So this is going to give you that purification that you're looking for. So we got a couple containers here on the wall. One of them's a pre-filter, and there's carbon in it. Then there's an RO membrane. Now that RO membrane filters anything out except for hydrogen and oxygen.
Okay.
H2O, water. So this is going to filter out about 98% of any of the minerals and grains that are in the water. Then after that, you got a post filter, which is again filled with that carbon.
Very good. So is this a whole house reverse osmosis system, meaning I'll get it at my bathroom sink and even at my stools?
Nope, this is not. This is just run to the areas where you're going to get that main drinking water. So the kitchen faucet, the refrigerator, the place where you fill up your water bottle, that runs to this. And the reason that we do that is this system is actually extremely slow. It takes a long time to push that water through those filtrations.
I see.
So now we got a couple, gallons worth of water that's filtered at any time. So if you have a big family or a party over and people are constantly getting that water, it's going to drain that gallon, and then it takes quite a bit of time to actually fill that back up. So if you were to run that to your shower, you'd run out of that reverse osmosis
You'd
water.
never be able to regenerate that quick.
Exactly, exactly. So. And you can expect to spend about $500 to $800 on this system here.
Installed.
Yep, but that'll give you real close to the same water you get in your bottled water.
Very good. Thanks, Luke.
Yep, and now we've talked a lot about the water inside the house. One of the things I want to talk with you about while we're down here in the mechanical room is what we do when we start a new job from a water management, from like storm water, rainwater.
Very good.
So let's head over to the other side of the mechanical room to the sump pump.
Sump pump.
And we can talk about that.
Great.
Hi, I'm Jake Whitaker with Granite Ridge Builders, and I'm here today to talk to you about a brand new community called Saddle Creek Estates. Saddle Creek Estates is located in Grable, Indiana, and it's in the Leo School District, and the streets are actually in for Section 1 right now, so please come out and see us. Now, there's been a little bit of confusion when people are driving out there. There is an existing house that was originally there, and I'm kind of working out of that right now. I'm out there every Sunday from 1 to 4, or give me a call and I'll meet you out there anytime. Did I mention it was Leo Schools?
Whoa, Izzy, you're the one doing this. Somebody keeps turning this on me. Okay, so tell me why you're putting it this way.
Well, I'm putting it this way so that the water runs right out from the gutter and doesn't pool around my house.
No, let me tell you where we found out a trick. When we're doing all these new construction homes, obviously this is done right because we have stone. Okay. Most houses, what happens is, if the water comes rushing down during the spring rain, it will come rushing through here. We've got all this new grass planted. It's going to wash it out all the way down the way. So here's what we learned. Take this little trick. Turn this way, the water comes down here, hits this, dribbles over, and we don't have the washout. That's why it's the other way. All right, I knew you had a problem. I knew it was somebody that was doing this on me. I finally figured out it was you.
Well, I'm sorry.
This works out.
Well, I guess Dave Tony has taught us something about how we install the downspouts properly, hasn't he, today?
Yes, it is. It's very important on the house, depending upon the pitch, the slope of the house, how big a house is, to actually how we actually put the gutter on the house itself.
As I understand it, when an inch of rain falls on our typical house, more than 1,000 gallons of water are dispersed someplace over that roof.
That's exactly right, Lonnie. And we have to get that away from the house so we don't have extra leaks.
So we do need to spend a lot of time thinking about water and manage it properly in the home as well as outside the home.
Absolutely.
Gutters come into play.
Yes, gutters come into play.
And I noticed, Dave, right back here we've got a good example of a gutter. Is it aluminum?
Yep, that's our typical 5-inch gutter.
Okay.
So, made of aluminum.
They do come a little bit larger?
Yes, they can go up to a 6-inch and a little bit larger. Depends upon, once again, on the size of the house, the slope of the house.
Roof. Okay. And we've got 3 different, and by the way, they come in different colors, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's going to match the fascia of the house. Our decorators will help set that up.
Windows, something. They're going to match. And the style's kind of interesting.
Yes, it's almost cut, almost like the crown molding in a house itself.
Very, very pretty, and they're continuous. They make them on the truck, and
yes, they make them continuous. So we actually make them right there on the job site, and the reason for that is so that it fits actually on the house itself, and plus it makes it continuous so that the water will not seep in between and go down any cracks.
And these are gutter guards, leaf guards, whatever you want to call them. Looks like we have 3 different ideas here, applications.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gutter guards itself. They help keep the gutters clean, and we will use them depending upon how much you actually have in the area. Such as if you're in a very wooded and tree lot, you might want to have a little bit more area covered.
This looks kind of like you wouldn't have too many trees or things to worry about, and then it gets more tight.
Gets
based
more
on the
tight, and
application.
it also gets a little bit more expensive as we go with a little bit more coverage.
And how much are gutter guards?
Anywhere could be $3 to $5.
Or even more per foot, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's good information. And then what are you doing, Izzy? Hey, come on out. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What do you got?
I'm playing with my new toy here.
Man, it looks like a truck or something.
It's called an iRobot.
It is, okay.
Well, the iRobot is actually used for cleaning gutters. You know, a lot of people don't like being up on a ladder, and
Right.
so it's you still have to get up on a ladder basically to get it up there in the gutter. But once it's up there, you just kind of use your controls here, and you move the thing back and forth, and it kind of cleans the gutter for you.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty handy way to do that. What kind of cost is that?
Yeah, it flips around in the gutter there, and it kind of just flips the leaves out. It has forward, backwards. You can reverse the way it flips the leaves in and out of the gutter. It's about $300, and again, it might sound a little expensive, but really, you know, it's a machine that's going to be able to really save you a lot of time, and a lot of people have that phobia of getting up high.
Hey, you fall off your ladder once, clean your gutters, you'll own 2 or 3 of those.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's good information.
So, Luke, we talked a lot about well water, softened water, RO water. What about the Mother Nature's water?
Yeah, one of the first things that I do as a construction supervisor before we even break ground on the lot, I go out and I look at it.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily going out there to look at where the prettiest place to put a house would be. I'm looking at it from a water management standpoint and how we're going to control that rainwater. So I'm looking at all the lots next door. I'm looking at any potential swales and ponds that we can take advantage of, and then we set the house accordingly. I want to make sure no matter what that rainwater is flowing away from our house so it doesn't create any issues.
Very good. Now I know we can't stop all of Mother Nature's rainwater. Some of that's still going to come around this house and work its way down the basement walls.
Yep, absolutely.
What happens next to that?
Yeah, so we use a 4-inch tile and we put it on both sides of the footer. So like right underneath your foot, there's a 4-inch tile right there.
Okay.
So when that rainwater comes down, the foundation of the wall, it's going to find that 4-inch tile. That 4-inch tile runs right to this pit right here.
This is a sump pump pit.
That's correct.
What's in that thing?
So there's an actual pump down in there. That water gets there, raises a float down there. Once it reaches a certain level, the float activates the pump. So then that pump pumps the water down.
Right.
It goes right up this tube and outside.
So I assume we just take the pipe, stub it outside the house, and life's all good like that. We're just kicking the water out.
Nope, I wish it was that easy. But if you were kicking it out right outside, then you'd just be creating an endless cycle. So it'd go outside, right back down the wall, back to the pit here.
So we'd be pumping really clean water at that point.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But if Mother Nature's still raining and you keep doing that, eventually you might have an issue. So in this case, we actually trenched it all the way out to the pond.
Okay.
Yep. Or, in a subdivision, you trench it out to a swale and then it'd find the storm
Very
drain.
good. Some safe drain-off spot.
Right, correct.
Okay. Now, I've heard all the horror stories. These things aren't 100%. I'm on vacation. I get the 100-year rain, and something happens here. What kind of preventative measures can we add on to this thing here?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a mechanical thing, so there's always the chance of it failing. So we always recommend to every one of our homeowners to at least get some sort of backup in there. There's also some monitoring devices that you could put on your house. Down here, we have what's called a watchdog water alarm.
Looks like a mousetrap.
Yeah, it does. It sets right on the concrete.
Okay.
If it feels any moisture at all, it'll actually scream an alarm.
Okay.
Now, that has limitations. You have to be within an earshot. If you're down in Florida, you're not going to hear that.
Okay.
So unless you're down in the basement, this might not work.
What else you got for me then?
Now, right on the wall, we have a pit boss. Now, it actually has 2 of these sensors.
Okay.
One sensor's down in the pit. You put it right above the float for the main pump.
Okay.
So if water reaches that point where it's above that float, it'll actually send up to 5 phones a text message saying that your water level is getting higher than normal.
So now I'm on vacation. It calls my cell phone. I'm far away. I call my buddy Luke, say run over to my house and take a look at that sump pump.
See what's going on with the sump pump. So it gives you a little bit of time.
Sure.
This one here, you actually put right outside the pit again. If the water gets to this point, it sends another text messages to those 5 phones saying your basement's flooding. So this will run you about $200 with a small yearly fee for that cellular.
For the cellular connection there then.
Right, exactly.
Well, those are all good get out of jail free cards right there then.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been fun today. It's been fun today, and I hope you get your spring cleaning done so you can enjoy this spring weather and also the summer. For me, I'm just going to do what my wife tells me to do.
Smart. That's smart, Lonnie. Well, we'd like to thank you very much for watching our show and sharing your time with us. If you'd like to know a bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please visit our website, call our phone number, or even better yet, just come on in the front door. We'd love to meet you. Thanks. That was fun. Let's get these splash blocks straightened out.
Okay, you know what? I got hot dogs for everybody, but they're not ready yet. However, Lonnie, the mouse is.
Dave, we got an example back here of a gutter. First of all, what's the material gutters are made out of typically?
I am blank. Okay. I'm just totally blank. I am just totally blank.
It's aluminum.
I was just, it's aluminum. I'm just kind of like.
Can you say aluminum, Dave?
Oh! Are you kidding me? It's a mouse!
I don't eat. Ah! You about hit him.
That would have left a mark.
No. Seriously, he would have knocked him out.
What happened to Dave? He got hit with a dog.
Wow.
Do you guys remember the day that Dave almost died?
You should have seen Dave's eyes.
I'm really excited this time of year because I get to play with my blower. One of the biggest things you need to really do is also check your window wells for your basement window wells to make sure there's no extra leaves that have gotten in there. Could be some dead mice. Could be also some.
He's crying. Your voice is getting higher.
Teenage boy.
He's a son of a gun, isn't he?
Did you go gray at 15?
Oh my gosh. I'll say something about my spring cold.
I gotta play with a man. We're recording the Brady Bunch right now.